guys, I'm answering a question today that I find very important that no one has explained on how to do, but I've done the trial and error for you. So this is how to make an author website if you don't have a book out yet. This is also me awesomely announcing that my website is up and redone for you guys. So there's a link down below to my website launch. There will be more things coming very, very soon for you, just hinting at it. If you sign up for my newsletter, you are going to be getting a free novella set in my Spaceborne universe that my full debut will be set in. It also gives you guys top priority in being my next betas because I let you guys sign up for it first. And you guys are also going to be getting a nice, cool, free writing resource download from my newsletter as well when you sign up. There's just so many exciting things that I'm so excited to show you guys, so do check it out. Let me know what you think down below. So I would also like to explain real quickly that I use Wix. I bought the premium thing, so that's what I have experience with. So this is all my advice. I'm trying to make it as broad as possible, but know that my experience is with using Wix. My number one tip is that your newsletter is very important because your publishers want you to do some bit of advertising for yourself. So if you're going the traditional route, if you're doing the self-published route, then all the advertising is on you. So as the author, you need to advertise yourself, your book, your brand, etc. And the number one thing that a lot of people want you to have is a newsletter. It's also a way for you to like sneakily give out information that you don't want known to the masses yet, but you want some people to like know. And my number one way on how to get more newsletter subscribers is by offering something for free on the newsletter. Something to download, something to read, etc., aka these are the things that you should sign up for my newsletter for. Number two is that people need to be able to see that you've written something, whether it's a short story, novella, poetry, a pre-order link for your actual novel, anything at all, just something to show that you've actually written something. Because if you are spewing your advice out online, or you're asking someone to pay money for your advice to coach them or get a course or something like that, and you have no way for them to read your writing, it's a whole lot of bullshit. It's a whole lot of bullshit. That's a fucking scam. You need to have some proof that you've actually written something. For me, I took down some of my writing and everything. I had it up for a very long time, and now the only way you could really access it was through the newsletter. It wasn't my best work, but now we're, again, subscribed to the newsletter for definitely more. And hopefully you guys will also have something that you can put up on your website so that people don't have to subscribe to the newsletter but can still get a taste of your writing. For me, I have an entire website as well of my Spaceborne website, so that has some of the writing from the book in there as well to show people that I've actually written something. You actually have to write to be a writer. Please share your writing to some degree. It's scary, I know, but if you're going to put your advice out there on the internet, if you're going to charge someone for something, you need to prove that you've written something. Hopefully something that's actually good. Don't try to sell stuff if you've never actually put pen to paper before, or you can't prove that you ever have. Share your writing. On your website, it should be there. It should be accessible. It should be there. My number three tip here is that you should have a hub for your book. If it's an entire series, I recommend making a whole website for it. If it's like a huge world building aspect, if it's going to be very long, it should have its own website most likely. If it's just a standalone, or if it's not that big of a world, it can have just like a single page on your website, but there needs to be some sort of hub so that you can get all the information you need about the book in one place. Your book is not out though if you are not an author officially. If you're an aspiring author, you do not have a book out, so only share as much as you are certainly sure is not going to change. If you are pretty sure this thing isn't going to change and it's not a spoiler, you can share it. Just be careful of spoiling your book for people or sharing things that are going to change. Try really hard not to do that. Number four, mock covers and aesthetics are your friend when you don't have enough content to fill up an entire website or a page because you don't have any reviews out, you don't have any like testimonials, you don't have an actual book cover, and you don't have a pre-order link or a buy link. You don't have those things, so you have to go and kind of go the other way, which is look at this aesthetic, look at this mock cover. This is how it's going to be when it's ready, when it's published. This is what you're getting, but it's not there yet. That is instead what you have to share instead of a buy link. But you can still do things like write a description for the book or kind of make like a back cover blurb, kind of advertising for it, but it doesn't always have to stay the same. Remember that these things are all going to change because your book is not out yet. So only share as much as you're certain is not going to change. It might still, and it's okay. You can just explain to people that it changed since then. People will understand. If you're going the self-publishing route, then maybe your CPs will again convince you to change something that you've already announced to people. It's alright. Number 5, your website is your main hub, not just for your book, but for yourself as an author. It shouldn't all revolve around the current book that you are writing. If you're writing a sci-fi, but one day you want to write a fantasy, then you need to remain in a neutral zone where you're very SFF, but not specifically go into one way or the other. Things that can be that genre specific are the actual book itself, its website, or its page on your website. But it's also the central hub, so it should have all of the links for everything else for you. If someone goes to your website, wants to find your Twitter, they should find a link to your Twitter. If they want to go to LinkedIn, they should find a link to your LinkedIn. If you don't have certain things, that's alright. You don't have to have everything. It's better to just pick and choose what you're on, but all of your links should be there. Have as much information about yourself, your work, your journey, etc. on your website, because people want to get to know you. If they're actually going out of their way to find your website, they don't want to see the same exact information that they can see in your short little ass Twitter bio. They want to know who the hell you are, where the hell you came from. Don't bombard them. Give a short description of who you are, a longer description of who you are, maybe some fun facts or something, a Q&A. Just don't get too personal, if you know what I mean. If you want to, sure, but people want to get to know you if they're going to your website, so share as much as you feasibly can that you're comfortable with. Number 6 is to get creative and don't be afraid to break out of the template that you choose. Again, I used Wix, so Wix gives you a template in the beginning. I have changed my site so much that I literally restart my site from scratch every single time I change it, because I'm not going based off a template anymore. Don't be afraid to break out of that mold, because everyone's site is eventually going to look the exact same if everyone just uses a template. Again, I made mine from scratch, so I get to choose everything. I got to make it very specific to my brand, and that really excited me because I love website design, so I was very happy about that. So don't be afraid to stand out, because that's what makes your site look different when everyone else's looks the exact same. Number 7, speaking of which, study other authors and other writers' websites and pick and choose what aspects you like, what things you don't want to do, and blend them together and add your brand into it, because great artists steal, as we all know. But whatever you're taking from, make sure to put your own spin on it, because you don't want to just outright steal things. You want to go, oh, I like how they set up their blog, however I'm going to change this and put it on my blog. Don't just take things. Number 8, I have mentioned so much about brand in this video, and you might be wondering what the hell that is. If you need help with your brand, I do have a great resource linked down below. It is on my CP and dearest friend, Evie Driver's website, and it is a 20+ page worksheet set essentially for you to figure out what your brand is and to solidify your advertisement for yourself and your novel in the future, even if you don't have a book out quite yet. All you have to do is subscribe to her newsletter and you can get access to it right out of that. So these are my main tips for if you are wanting to make a website as an author website, but you are not an official author yet because your book is not out yet. This can also work for if you do have a book out already. This is just more specific to people who want to advertise themselves and their writing, but don't have the things like the resources of buy links and publishers and reviews and things like this. Because every time I looked up how to make an author website, everyone already had books out, so it was really easy for them to fill it with content. That is not the case for me quite yet, so I had to figure out my own ways to fill it with content, and now I'm sharing it with you guys. So my main tips: give out something in your newsletter, some sort of free incentive, make sure that your writing is on your website, make sure all your links are on your website, aesthetics, mock things, other things of inspiration for your novel, and make it very brand specific. And again, figure out your brand down below. Are you guys making a website? Do you have specific authors whose website you absolutely adore? Do tell me down below so we can have a resource there of a bunch of information. If you've checked out my website, do tell me what you think, because I worked so fucking hard on it. And if you like this video, do give a big old thumbs up, and remember to subscribe, because I make writing and karma related videos every Friday. But I gotta go now, so bye!
Trying to step back and see the view.